you. I'm changing my life. Those were the words that were shared with me the very first time I shared my signature story. Siobhan was the one who told me those words. And Siobhan and I had known each other for years by this point. It was in Toastmasters International, and I considered her my mentor. I thought she was the coolest thing. She was a manager. I was a lowly employee over at Wells Fargo. And that was the day I realized my words have the power to change her life. Your words have the power to change lives. I believe some lives have already changed in this room. I know it to be true. But it has to start with you sharing your message and being willing to speak up. Are you ready to take this journey with me? Let's do it. But first, let's take a pulse check, right? We don't all start in the same place, and we're not intended to. That's by design. Snap your fingers. If any of these things describe you, are you afraid to speak up? Are you afraid you're not going to be taken seriously? Have you been hushed before in any situation? Are you afraid you're going to mess up? Or maybe you did mess up before. I heard some snaps. Regardless of where you are today, know that you can show up more confidently on that next stage. Maybe even a stage like this. But first, we have to give ourselves permission. Permission to do what, Jen? Permission to unmute ourselves. One of the gifts we had from the pandemic was, can you hear me? You're on mute. Right? You're on mute. Push the darn button. How long did it take you before you realized that you are muting yourself? It wasn't anyone else who pushed that button but you. Think of the last time you were in a serious situation at work, on a stage, at church, and you kept quiet. You muted yourself. What would be different for you today if you hadn't muted yourself? So, with your permission, stand up if you are giving yourself permission to take yourself off mute. Who's with me? To do a selfie if we're okay. This is my event, gosh darn it. And I've always wanted to do this. Yay, smile. Thank you for that. You may have a seat. One of the things that I noticed about being a boss, I've been an entrepreneur for 16 years now, but I didn't always used to be a boss. When bosses speak, people listen, right? As soon as they come into the room, it's on. Suddenly people are listening. They're giving you their eyes. They're paying attention. I think that's why I love that TV series, Who's the Boss? Do you remember? Give me a thumbs up if you remember Who's the Boss. Now, one of the things I really enjoyed about Who's the Boss was you have Angela, this breadwinning powerhouse advertising executive. Single mom, divorced with a young child at home. And she's like, I'm not going to take care of that housework. Vicki said she's not folding clothes. Angela hired someone to fold clothes. She hired Tony Maselli, who was this macho Italian guy who tried to make it in Major League Baseball, but he had a major shoulder injury. He also had a daughter, and he became her live-in housekeeper. So suddenly you have this balance of who's actually the boss in this situation? Is it Angela, who's paying Tony to be her employee? Or is it Tony, who throughout the series shared very tender, sensitive moments that were not the stereotype back in the 80s and 90s when the show ran? This was one of my earliest experiences with recognizing that being a boss has nothing to do with your title. We have many titles in our lives. Partner, mother, grandmother, sister, aunt, whatever your job titles are, community, volunteer, we have a lot of titles. I want you to embrace this idea that you can be a boss, no matter your title. So if you're willing to share this with each other, turn to your neighbor on the right. Look at your neighbor and say, you are the boss.
You are the boss.
And you are the boss. You are the boss. Now, way back when I started my business Weightless, and yes, I'm dragging my shoe because I broke my shoe coming up there. How iconic is that? What? Take them on. Take them on. We'll take them on. Okay. Back in the day, I didn't believe I was a boss. Now, I told you Siobhan was my mentor over in Toastmasters, because she was management, and I'm like, I want to be a manager. Applied, never got it. Finally, I quit that job, and I said, guess what? I'm going to be an entrepreneur. That's when Weightless was born. This was my very first promo-branded product I bought for my business over 16 years ago. Now, at the time, I had been sharing my signature story, which has nothing to do with what I do today. My signature story was being a loser. I lost 100 pounds in 1 year with no products, programs, or anything, but my own willingness to change. That was 25 years ago when I lost that weight. I have a little more to love today. This was the first step I took from being a loser to being a leader. I believe you have some steps, if you're willing to accept, that you can take as well. So part of having the confidence to speak up is taking what your unique speaker path looks like. Today, the work I do with clients is I help them present themselves on stages so they can grow their impact and income. Do you want more impact and income? Yes, me too. Every day. This is what I get to do. So this is the path I walk with clients when it comes to building that confidence. And some of you in the room are my clients or were my clients. I love seeing you here to support me. It starts with the foundations, clarity of your message. Bosses don't speak unless they have something to talk about. You need to have something to talk about. And it's got to be something that you want to become known for. Now, we have some people in this room who've done TED Talks. That's probably something you want to be known for. Brene Brown, what do you think of her TED Talk? Mel Robbins, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the high five habit. We know that that's what they want to be known for. So what is that for you? And you don't have to figure that out because it takes months sometimes. I help people figure out their signature speech. We'll get to that in a moment. Consistency is also important. We've heard from Vicki, we've heard from everyone who's spoken so far. It takes more than just one attempt, right? I didn't lose 100 pounds by one day. I'm like, I'm going to eat broccoli for lunch instead of McDonald's. I never ate McDonald's. It took millions of steps over a year of time. So it's not just one thing, it's that consistency. How often are you showing up for yourself? Once you do these two things, that's where the confidence comes through. That's when you're like, not only can I do this, I am doing this. This is the path to get to that confidence level. So I mentioned you have to have something to talk about. It's a signature speech. Now you may be thinking, well, Jen, I thought you started as, talking about weight loss and all this stuff. Yeah, that was my signature story, not my signature speech. Now, a lot of people in this room are sharing signature stories, which is a beautiful, amazing thing. It's not a signature speech. A signature speech is your branded idea that will grow your impact and income over time. You only need one, But once you nail that, that is what you're going to be famous for someday, should you choose to go there. Consistency. Keep doing the things, keep doing things. This is probably like the 500th time I've presented on stage. I do a lot of virtual presentations. It's not really the quantity thing. I think people focus too much on quantity, right? Like if I just do one more of this, one more of that. When I ran my first half marathon at 39 years old, I was like, hey, I'm never doing this again. That sucked. I thought I wasn't going to make it. My poor family was waiting in the cold at the finish line. They're like, Jen, where are you? They're texting me. Where are you? And I was dying. I'm like, I need a medical evacuation. I don't know what's happening right now. And I kept going. But do you know how many miles I ran before that race that day? Hundreds of miles of training. I trained for 6 months. I ran multiple half marathons in the training leading up to that one race. So as you think about that race for you, what are those stages leading up to that? And let's talk about confidence. Back when I used to talk about health, I'd be like, confidence is not up here. Never was, never will be. Confidence is right there. I need to live more. Confidence is a muscle. And yes, I am taking some of this for my health work because I love health and wellness. That's why a lot of people in this room are in health and wellness. I just love my people. But here's the thing. Confidence is something you do. It's a practice. You can't think your way to being more confident. That's why confidence is the outcome of that clarity and that consistency. If you nail the clarity and consistency, you got the confidence. Hands down. So some of you may be like, that's all great, Jen. I have no desire to be up here with you. It's okay. It's okay. But what if you're getting ready for an important meeting? What if you have a presentation? What if you're looking for startup business funds from angel investors? I've mentored for the Minnesota Cup here in town. It's a great thing. They're looking for thousands of dollars from local businesses. That's high stakes. You need to be confident to get on those stages. So here are some pre-speaking rituals. We'll do one activity together. I even do this with some of my clients pre-event. But if you can, I've already done this. Kick off your shoes. I think that was a God moment because I'm like, yeah, shoe roll for a reason. Kick off your shoes. You can stand up or just plant your feet square on the ground, whatever you feel comfortable with. And we're going to breathe together. We're going to breathe in through our nose for 4 counts. And then exhale through our mouth for 4 counts. I will count us down. In through the nose, go. And exhale out the mouth. Do it again if you feel like it. Thank you. How do you feel? Do we feel like we're calm, like we're centered? Now, this is a pre-speaking ritual that I have people do if they're nervous Nellies. You'd be like, what? What's a nervous Nellie? I'm a nervous Nellie. If you saw me this morning at 7 a.m., because I didn't sleep very well last night, I was running around like a nervous Nellie. All the things. Nervous Nellie is one of the speaker presences you may have in this room today. There's another one I'll go over really quickly. But nervous Nellie sounds like you talk really fast and you run out of breath. And that's why grounding and breathing is really important for you. That's where you get into the ground, into your center, and you feel confident and calm. So if you're a nervous Nellie, breathing and grounding are important for you. It's part of your confidence toolkit. But what if you don't talk too fast? What if you're not a nervous Nellie? You might be a deliberate Diane. What does deliberate Diane sound like? She likes to do this, and she's very still, and she maybe speaks slower, and she's got facts and figures on her slides behind her. That's a deliberate Diane. So your pre-speaking ritual is very different because you need energy. You need to move. You need to get Get that energy flowing, get the blood circulating as a deliberate Diane. Give me a 1 if you're a nervous Nellie, or a 2 if you're a deliberate Diane. Ooh, I love it. Let's see what we got. Awesome. A lot of nervous Nellies, fewer deliberate Dianes. Thank you for sharing that with me, because awareness is where you get started. And I want you to be aware of where you start. Another thing that leaders do exceptionally well, bosses do really well, is they listen first. As a coach, part of my standards and ethics I do with clients is I listen to what you need. I listen to your concerns. I don't have an agenda for anyone I work with. It's your agenda. That's why coaching is really difficult work. You need to turn up that dial on the radio station of WIIFM with what's playing on that station? Whatever your people want to hear. They are asking themselves, what's in it for me? So the next time you're speaking in front of more than one person, it's not a one-to-one conversation. They are listening to that radio station. Do you know what's playing on that station? Do you know what questions they're asking? Tune into that radio station and you will be able to speak up more confidently because they are going to be listening to you just like they listen to a boss. And because I'm a leader and feedback is extremely important to me, please take out your phones. I am also listening. And give me feedback on today's talk. You will have a different opportunity to give feedback on the event. And thank you for everything you share with me. Your words are important to me. Your thoughts are important to me. Your feedback is priceless to me. So please take out your phones, hit the QR code. And by the way, you know how I mentioned signature story is vastly different from a signature speech? Yeah. I'll give you a free template. The signature speech template when you fill out this feedback. It's yours. Take it with my gratitude. Anyone else need to grab the code? Yeah. And I also have codes. Yes, perfect. There you go. If you missed it, we can chat later. This is my new branding. You may have seen this on the table outside. So I went from the importance of hydration and health and wellness, it's still important, especially when you're on stage, to the importance of being heard. You still need both. How are you nourishing yourself so you can get up on stage? How are you speaking so people want to hear you? These are free for you to take as well if you'd like to. I didn't start off as a leader. I did not start off as a speaker. I'm in complete gratitude for each and every one of you today, for being here with me, hearing the story, and sharing this experience with me. It's hard to plan events. It is very hard. And I never planned to do this 25 years ago when I started my company. So thank you. Now, Charlotte shared with us in the beginning, when she shared her story, one woman can change the world. Absolutely can. One woman. You, Clara, you, Sonia, Jane, Nancy, Michelle and Michelle, Geesh, we're all here to change the world in our own unique way. I add to that. One woman can change the world, one speech at a time. Even if it's just 5 minutes, and someone comes up to you and says, "You changed my life." The stage is yours. Your audience wants to hear from you. If you are ready, take the mic, whatever that mic looks like for you. Stand up. Woo! And say, "I am a boss."
I am a boss.
Yes, you are. Go get it. Now we're having a break for lunch. Thank you. box lunches that you ordered. Feel free to go anywhere in the area. There's a Devani's not too far. We have 1 hour exactly for lunch, and then we'll hear from our next speaker. We'll see you then.